Hello children, hope you're fine. This is your English teacher, Radha. In today's class, we're going to talk about a very beautiful story related to one of the lady, what she has achieved in her life. Right? We're going to talk about a very beautiful woman, what has she achieved. Yes, Anandi Gopal. The name of the lesson is Anandi Gopal. Her name was Yamuna Joshi. Her name, a woman's name, that is a lady whom we are going to talk in the story. Her name is Yamuna Joshi. She was born on 31st of March in 1865 in a small town in Mumbai. Okay, her name was Yamuna Joshi. Now you can ask, ma'am, what is the name here related? Coming up to the point, when we are learning the story, we will understand. Okay, children? And what is the meaning of biography? Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of biography? Yes, is a story of a person's life written by somebody else. I repeat, biography is a story of a person's life written by somebody else. Example. Now you like a person very much and you feel that yes, she has achieved something. You write a story about her. It's called biography. Where somebody else writes your story is called biography. And here is the next one, autobiography. What is it? Autobiography. The meaning is a story of a person's life written by themselves. Example, now I feel that I have achieved many things in my life. I have done wonders in my life. So I want to write a book about me. So that is called autobiography. Is it clear, children? When you write a story about your life, that is called autobiography. But when you write a story about others, it is called biography. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next one, we are going to understand the meaning of the hard words which is there in the text. Reluctant, unwilling and hesitant. Reluctant, unwilling and hesitant. Poverty, a state of being poor. Poverty, a state of being poor. Alien, belonging to foreign country. Alien, belonging to foreign country. I hope it's clear. Now we shall understand a story about a woman. What has she done in her life? And children, it is really very interesting story. Okay, we shall start. It is unit number 4, Anandi Gopal, page number 26. I was born on 31st March 1865 as Yamuna Joshi in Kalyan, a small town near Mumbai. As I have introduced that her name was Yamuna Joshi and she was born on 31st of March 1865. And then she was born in a small town in Mumbai. My family used to be the landlords in the town. Do you know what is landlords? Landlords are the people who have many lands. They are owner of those huge lands. They are called landlords, but had lost their riches. When I was 9 years old, I was married and my name was changed to Anandi. So now comes here, the name of the lesson is Anandi. Her name was Yamuna. After she got married, her name changed into Anandi. Now, Anandi got married in the age of 9. Can you just imagine, children? A woman getting married at the age of 9. A girl getting into a married life at the age of 9. Can't even imagine, but this was her situation. Before my marriage, I could barely read Marathi. Although she is from Mumbai, she was not able to read Marathi. Education for girls was not common. As you all know, in those generations, women were not given education. Girls were not encouraged to go to school. But my husband, Gopal Roy, that is Anandi's husband, Gopal Roy, was an ardent supporter of widow remarriage. What is a widow remarriage? A person who is married, something goes wrong, maybe her husband is dead, so she can marry again. That is a widow remarriage, marrying again. So her husband was a great supporter of this widow remarriage. He started teaching me. This was very difficult as she was not educated. So her husband, Gopal Roy, started to educate her. After our marriage, he started teaching me. This was very difficult. In those days, a husband didn't even speak directly to his wife in front of others. Yeah, what she says here. In those days, we women, we don't talk to our husband directly because we respect them a lot. That was our culture. But it was very difficult for me to sit with him and understand what he is teaching, right? Sit with him difficult means what I meant here is in those days, women used to respect men. They don't even talk to them directly. But now, how can I sit with him directly and start learning something? She feels it. In the beginning, my husband tried to enroll me in the missionary schools. It means in those days we had a few schools, missionary schools. So he wanted to admit her to the school. But it did not work out. We had to move from Kalyan to Alibang to Kolhapur and finally to Calcutta, where he was left free to teach. So as Anandi wanted to go and study for the education, Gopal was willing to send her to the missionary school, but that did not happen because Gopalan was getting transferred from one place to another. That is from Kalyan to Alibag to Kolhapur, and finally they had to go to Calcutta. So that was not working out that to send her to the missionary school. After my rapid progress, my husband was insistent that I should acquire higher education. That it means here, when Anandi was studying with Gopal Roy, that is, her interest was very much. So here what happened, Gopal wanted to send her to the higher education as she was very intelligent and she was very brilliant. She was having so much of knowledge that she can also acquire higher education. In those days, female doctors were not available in our country. right, children? Even in our parents, that is our grandparents' generation, we didn't have female doctors. So that's what she says, that we didn't have any female doctors. Many women reluctant to approach a male doctor would suffer a lot as a result. We women, as we are women, we generally hesitate to go to the men doctor. We didn't have female doctor, and it was such a difficulty situation that we have to go to the men doctor. It was like that in our generation, she used to tell. I myself had lost my infant son when I was 14. How sad. She feels very sad about her life because she was not able to get a proper treatment and no proper doctor. She herself described here saying, I myself lost my son when I was 14 years old. So I decided that I would like to become a doctor. Wonderful. Now see how nice it is, children. Although she was not educated, her husband made her to study, and her husband felt that yes, she is brilliant. She can acquire the higher studies. So now all these things happened in her life. Now her achievement is that she wanted to become a doctor. My husband tried very hard to get me admitted to some university in America. Mrs. Carpenter and Rosalie, New Jersey, by chance came to know my story and was moved by the correspondence and wrote me a letter. Now here what happened? Somehow Mr. Carpenter family, that is those people are living in America, they came to know about Anandi's intelligence and they approached her. They are from America. So now Gopal Roy decided, my husband tried very hard to get me admitted to some university in America. So now her husband, that is Gopal, he tried a lot to put her in the American institution for the higher studies. Now, Mr. Carpenter and Rosalie, New Jersey, by chance came to know my story and was moved by the correspondence and wrote me a letter. Now, somehow, these family, that is the Carpenter and Rosalie family, got to know about Anandi's intelligence. So now they wrote a letter. What did they write a letter? She offered to host me in US. So nice. That means she had written a letter saying that I will take the responsibility to give her a higher education. Who? Carpenter family and Rosie, her family wrote a letter that they will take the responsibility to give education to Anandi Gopal for the higher studies. We decided that I should live for America alone. So now what happened? She offered to host me in USA since Gopal Rai wasn't able to get job there. So now if a husband and wife both, if they go there, Gopal should have a job. But unfortunately, Gopal was not able to find the job in America. We decided that I should leave for America alone. So now what happened? Gopal could not go to America. So only Anandi should have to travel alone to America for her higher studies. We had to face a lot of opposition and criticism to extent of people throwing stones and cow dung at us. So it was such a pathetic condition she was in. In those days, women were never encouraged to go alone anywhere out, and now this situation had come to her that she had to go to America all alone, where the society did not agree, and even her husband was very, very encourageable. Her husband was very much supportive that she had to go. But due to some circumstances, lot of opposition, she had that she had that bad time with the people. Finally, after many trials and tribulation, in June 1883, I reached America and met my carpenter Mavasi, that is auntie. Now here what happened finally with all the struggles where they did not allow her to go to America because she was a woman, she was not encouraged. But somehow she tried, she convinced them, she really worked hard to control everything and she came out of the problem and finally she landed to America in 1883 and she met the Carpenter family. In America, there were many things that I thought were strange and many that the carpentries found strange about me. So now here what happened? She landed to America and she went into the Carpenter family and she had found that something strange in America. Strange means which is not common, something which was not common she found. What was it? For example, the carpenters found it odd that I wouldn't sit down on a chair when Mr. Carpenter was in a room. So now here what happened, usually when a woman and a man are there, when a man is sitting, we don't sit along. Yeah, it means that we are showing the respect. That was the culture in our country. But here it is different. She says that is in America, it's different. So in this scenario, what happened? When Carpenter came into the room, she quickly stood up. She did not sit. So this scenario made them feel strange. The carpentry felt, what is this? Why when I'm coming to the room, why she is not sitting, she is standing. Yeah, this was a strange thing for them. Was a custom in India and I was astonished that they did not bathe every day. So now what happened? In India, we usually take bath every day, but in America, they don't take bath. So what happened? She felt something strange. Why these people are not taking bath? Other things like my clothes and my not eating non-veg food, right? In America and all, they are very much used to eat non-veg. They enjoy eating non-veg food, but whereas she was not she was not eating non-veg. So even this, it made them feel strange. Carpenter Mavashi took care of me as if I were her own daughter. So now she's very happy there. Those family took care of her as if she is her own daughter. She cried like a child when she left me at the women's college in Philadelphia. So now what happened here? As if with a mother and a child emotion, when she dropped me to the college and when I got admitted to the college, she cried so much that the emotion, that the love she showed me, she says. The superintendent and the secretary of the college were very kind. They were impressed that I had come to study from so far away. So now what happened? She got into the institution, the superintendent and the secretary, the people, the important people of the university, they were all very much astonished. They were all very much happy that, oh my God, this girl, that this lady has come so far to study her doctorates here. Wonderful, they feel. They were impressed that I had come to study from so far away, braving poverty and opposition from my people. So the superintendent and the secretary, they were very much impressed that with so much of difficulty, she fought with those people, that is from India she fought, and with so much of opposition, she landed to America for her studies. They are very much impressed because of that. They even offered me a scholarship of $600 for the 3 years. That's wonderful. Since they were so much impressed and she was a woman who came from so far, they gave her a scholarship of $600 for 3 years. The room that was provided to me at the college did not have a proper fireplace. So here, children, as you know, America is a cool place. They will have the fireplace for every single individual houses. But she says, unfortunately, the room which was provided to me, there was no fireplace. The fireplace emitted a lot of smoke when lit. So it was a choice between smoke and cold. I tried to get another place, but that was not possible as no one was ready to rent a place to a brown Hindu girl trying to become a doctor. So now what happened? So here her actual difficulty starts. Now she went into a room which was provided by the college. As you got to know that there is no fireplace. So she was very uncomfortable. When she tries to lit it, the smoke used to produce. So she had no other option. So when she went to another place to hire a room, they did not give the room to her because she was a brown Hindu, a woman who came to become a doctor here. They did not encourage. So it was her fate that she has to stay in the same place. After about 2 years in that place, I had started having a constant temperature and cough. So now here what happens? Because of the weather climate, because of the weather condition, her body did not accept the cold. So the temperature and the cold and the cough had been constantly disturbing her health. Well, living in an alien culture as a foreigner. Here I told you. So here she is from India and she had come to a foreign country. That is what here it says. In an alien culture, weather was always going to be difficult and I was ready to face it. Now, since her achievement was something very nice, she had that in her mind. I have to achieve a doctorate. So keep aside all my health issues. Whatever the health is there, I will take care and I will face it. I mean, I will overcome the problem, but I want to do my higher studies. My health was seriously affected and my stay there. That means her health became very worse. As she was going to a college, she was doing well, but still her health did not accept because of the weather, she was going worse. After around 2 years in the US, I had sudden spells when I used to feel very faint and get a high temperature. The cough never left me. So now here what happened, she became worse and worse. The cough did not go and the temperature was very cold and her body did not accept the weather condition of America. By the end of 3 years, my condition had worsened. So now 3 years for the doctorate course, she had been there. 2 years she was able to manage, but the third year she was very, very worsened. She became very, very weak. I somehow scrapped through the final exam, means I somehow passed my final exam, although having this health condition. At the convocation where my husband was present, it was announced that I was the first Indian woman doctor and got a standing ovation for that. Please underline the sentence. This is the beautiful and we all are very proud of the sentence here. At the convocation where my husband was present, it was announced that I was the first woman doctor of India and got a standing ovation for that. It is amazing, children. So now what is the point of the story here? This Anandi Gopal was the first woman Indian doctor. She was the first woman Indian doctorate. She got it from America. So for the convocation means when you receive a degree, we will have a program where we will be honored by some of the chief guests. So here, her husband had attended her husband present. It means her husband came to the convocation and she had a very beautiful standing ovation. Standing ovation means all the audience respected her because of her great achievement. That was one of the most rewarding moments of my life. Now here she says, that moment I am not able to forget. That was such a beautiful moment for me. Day by day, I grew worse. Now here again, coming back to the health, day by day, I grew worse and nothing worked. So after the medication, after taking care of her health, she was not able to control her health. She became very weak. My husband then admitted me to the women's hospital in Philadelphia. I was then diagnosed as having tuberculosis, but the disease hadn't yet reached my lungs. So now what happened? Her husband came and he took her to the doctor and they had diagnosed that she has a tuberculosis. Tuberculosis means it's some of the problem which is there. She had the tuberculosis and which hasn't reached the lungs yet, means it has not gone to the extreme. But they had diagnosed that she has tuberculosis. The doctor advised me to go back to India. So now the doctor felt that maybe because of the weather condition, she may be okay in India. Take her back to India. Her return to India. Now it was time for her, after a doctorate, after her convocation, after the standing ovation, now it's time for her to get back to India. The journey came home took a further toll on Anandi's health as doctors on the ship refused to treat a brown woman. Now again what had happened as they were back to India, on the ship they were coming through the ship, so there the doctor refused to take her and give her the treatment as she was a brown Indian woman. They refused her because she is from India. On reaching India, she stayed at her cousin's place in Pune. She received treatment from a renowned Ayurvedic specialist. So one of her friends received her and started to give her the Ayurvedic treatment. He, however, refused to treat her as according to him. Finally, also the doctor did not give her any treatment. She had crossed the boundaries of society. Finally, on February 26, 1887, frustrated that all her achievements were in vain. So because of her health condition and the doctors did not give her treatment, the doctors refused to give her the treatment and she could not be alive. She rested. It means that she was expired on February 26th because of her health issues which went to the extreme. Anandi scrabbled to that all her achievement went in vain. Anandi, she was mourned throughout India. Her ashes were sent to Mrs. Carpenter, who wanted to place them in her family cemetery in Poch DCP. Now here what happened? Finally, her death was really a very sad to all over India as she has achieved the first woman doctorate in India, but the whole of the country was mourned. That means all were very sad because of her death. Anandi Bai's effort, however, were not in vain. To this day, she is an inspirational for Indian girls from all walks of life. So here they say that her efforts had reached to all the inspirational women. We women should take it as a pride. Like how beautifully she overcame the problem and she has achieved such a beautiful doctorate and all that. But still her name is still existing in our India, they say. Inspirational to Indian girls from all walks of life. She enables us to believe that whatever our situation and circumstances, nobody's dream are unachievable. Here they also have mentioned a very beautiful sentence, underlined that nobody's dreams are unachievable and that each of us has to have the potential to achieve whatever we wish to. So whatever your dream is, whatever you wanted to achieve, kindly proceed. Nobody can stop us. This is the message. Today, the Maharashtra government has a fellowship in her name for young women working on women's health. And even today, on her name, that is Anandi Gopalan's name, they give the other women a scholarship for the working women on health. Is it clear, children? Such a beautiful story, but the ultimately she expires. That is really so bad. Okay, so I hope you understood this beautiful story. Thank you, children.